Retreat series, Dhamma talk number 44. Buddha was born and enlightened and taught us across India, throughout India, over 2,500 years ago. For 45 years, he crisscrossed Indian continent and taught Buddha Dhamma. At that time, the people followed him and his teachings. Some people who are fortunate enough to see the Buddha, to be with the Buddha, to be physically follow the Buddha, they did. And they learned from him. In other words, they took refuge in him, the Buddha. But there are some places, some people, they never have an opportunity to see the Buddha, heard the Buddha directly. But his teaching spread around. So there are some people, they took refuge in the Dhamma because they didn't have a chance to see the Buddha. Met the Buddha. And in some cases, some places, some people, they come across a Sangha. Sanghas are the bhikkhus, bhikkhunis and bhikkhunis, male and female monks, who met Buddha, who learned from Buddha, who have practiced, and then they were sent out or they left. And keep on teaching the Buddha Dhamma in places where Buddha didn't reach at all time. So some people took refuge in Sangha. So even at the time of Buddha, some took refuge in the Buddha because of their opportunity. Some in Dhamma because they couldn't see the Buddha. Some in Sangha because they came across a bhikkhu or bhikkhuni who learned, practiced, and then become qualified to teach. So they took refuge in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha even at that time. And of course, even nowadays, we always recite at the beginning, Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sammasambuddhassa, just giving honor and respect to the Buddha. And then we say Buddham Saranam Gicchami, Dhammam Saranam Gicchami, Sangham Saranam Gicchami. We take refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. That's a tradition we follow because that's how it started, how it were. So in other words, since the time of Buddha, throughout the ages, until now, okay, we take refuge in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. That's the tradition. So in here, we'll tell a story about how this Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha come about. That was the condition of the situation, but there's a specific incident. Just before Buddha passed away, around that time, Buddha was ill, and then quite seriously ill, so death is imminent. At that time, Shin Ananda, in other words, his attendant, also his cousin, his attendant for last 25 years, he was only a Satipatthana, the first stage of Ariya. He knew that, and then a thought came upon him. Our dependable teacher, Shin Sariputra. Shin Sariputra is the monk, the bhikkhu. Next to Buddha, he is the wisest, and he is being the eldest of the elders who listen who Buddha has confidence that he can teach his Dhamma, what he thought he knew fully. Shin Sariputra had passed away. Actually, Shin Sariputra passed away 3 months before the Buddha. And we have no teachers who will teach us like Shin Sariputra. Now the Buddha is going to pass away, and once the Buddha is gone, there's nobody to teach us. Our big brother is gone, our Buddha is going to be passing away, and it hits him, and he was in grief and pain, and actually he was even crying. During the same time, Buddha was preparing to give a Dhamma talk, even though he was seriously ill, mortally ill. He is still preparing to teach a group of Sangha. He was going to teach, and he didn't see Shin Ananda. Shin Ananda is supposed to be at every Dhamma teaching of Buddha. He was supposed to be there. So to speak, he is the recorder. He bring a cassette tape and record everything, and a modern day, of course. And he didn't send the other monks, go look for Shin Ananda and bring him here. And Shin Ananda brought, and he was with stricken grief, and he saw that. And the Buddha said, I have been teaching for 45 years. And what I have taught is so that people could be able to resist the 8 loka Dhamma, overcome grief, pain, sorrow, lamentation, overcome mental defilements. That's the purpose I taught. And all the teachings are here. Of course, when your loved one dies, you go in pain and grief. But the Dhamma will help you how to deal with these things without being grief-stricken. Practice. Yes, I'll be gone. But 45 years I have taught. And all the Buddha's teaching after the Buddha passed away, the Sangha collected and put into categories, 3 baskets. Actually, there are 84,000 verses. All are recorded. And the first Buddhist council, 84,000 verses or stanza. And these Dhamma will be here. Even though I might be gone, these 84,000 Dhammas will still be here. And each verse, you can call it a Buddha. You have 84,000 Buddhas to depend on, to take refuge upon. You don't have to know all 84,000, but whichever one that really works for you, take it to heart and practice and live. And that means you are with the Buddha. Buddha never left you because Dhamma is there. So he left Dhamma to take them as a refuge for them. And also, of course, Sangha, the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis who are very well learned and well practiced, they will become also the teachers. So they are always teachers. And you take refuge in them. Even though I'm not here, you can still, if you have Dhamma, I'm with you. You can take refuge in Dhamma, you can take refuge in Sangha. So you have teachers all the time. And since then, at the time of Buddha, throughout ages until now, the Buddhists, they learn, they practice having a teacher. They have somebody always to guide and to direct. If you don't have a physical person, they're always Dhamma. But nowadays it is rare, there's always there if you look for it. So it's being a tradition, you always look for a very learned teacher, very well practiced teacher, and you take refuge under the teacher's guidance, and you practice for the purpose of eliminating all physical and mental suffering. So that's a tradition. So in here, these people, what do they do? Okay, why do we need to practice under the guidance? Because even though we all have access to Dhamma, okay, nowadays, look at it, we can have books, we can have CDs, we can have videos, audio, YouTubes, everywhere we have Dhamma accessible, anywhere and everywhere. Well, why do we need teacher? We have the books, we have the Dhamma. You can say that, you can practice that. But regardless, one can learn, one can study, one can read, or one can even go to Buddhist universities. Okay, take BA in Dhamma, Master in Dhamma, PhD in Dhamma. Nowadays, they start using the word Bachelor, Master, PhD in Dhamma University. You can get Dhamma. But regardless how much you learn, how much you study, okay, what kind of degrees you get, it's no different than getting a degree in any other subject. You go to university, you get Bachelor Arts, Science, and Physics, Chemistry, you get a degree. It is just a certificate saying that you can pursue and you can practice that subject. The reality and the real know-how comes only after that. Throughout your life, you use that subject and you practice and you practice and you practice, you exercise, and you become skillful in that subject. But getting out of the university is just a certificate, nothing more than that. That's where the real work starts after you graduate. The same thing Buddhists do. You might have Bachelor or Master or PhD in Dhamma and all that what it is. Then, yeah, to a certain degree, it's not bad. It's good. You can talk about it. But in reality, once you get that, you put that all the theories you have learned, practiced, discussed, memorized, okay, discuss, put into practice and practice and practice. Put the theory into practice, and from the practical word, you really understand the theory. Only then you can say you have Dhamma in your heart. Bachelor of Dhamma, Master of Dhamma, PhD of Dhamma, you cannot say that you have Dhamma in your heart. Only the practice alone can put Dhamma in your heart. So to speak, you live with Dhamma, you eat with Dhamma, you sleep with Dhamma, you breathe with Dhamma, figuratively and literally. Only then you can say you have Dhamma. Only then Dhamma is alive in this world. Regardless if there's a billion Dhamma books out there, there is no Dhamma in this world. But when the Dhamma is in one's heart, the Dhamma becomes alive. Only then those people can help other people properly and correctly. Those people can become the guide. Those can become the teacher. And we all need to make the Dhamma become alive, to keep it in your heart, a part of your heart. So in here, that's a reason once handed down to another, once handed down to another. When you get practice, theory and practice are not exactly the same. Okay, you get a university degree, but when you go out and work, you don't find it is exactly the same. You have to learn, you have to experience, you have to tweak, you have to adjust through experience and through people who has gone before you tell you the little shortcut of all formula or this or that. Through that you learn and you become skillful and you become a master. The same thing with the Dhamma. That's why we need a guide, we need a teacher. So in here the Buddha said, you need a guide or a teacher, something that you can take refuge. But that guide or teacher is not really what you call becoming a protector for you or saving you for something. They simply point you out how to do it correctly, how the Buddhas had walked, how the Piccika Buddha, Silence Buddha, how the Arahats had gone through, and how the many sages and wise people has gone through in the past. This is the technique they have left, and this is the technique we have learned, and this is what we have actually experienced. He just passed it on again, and that's how one's go. So it becomes a tradition, and it is important to have a proper, a good, a virtuous, a competent person to walk with. Okay? So it's easy to say, good, virtuous, competent person who can show you the way. But who is that one? Who is that holy person? Call it a Sappurisa. Okay? We can translate it as a holy and wise person. Holy and wise person in the olden days is the Buddha, okay? And Piccika Buddha, Silence Buddha, or Arahata. Arahat is the last stage of Ariya, and all the lower levels of Ariya. They are called Sappurisa. And even some who are not bhikkhus or bhikkhuni, but Putujana, a lay person, some are the Sappurisa. Sappurisa is wise and holy person. It could be a male, it could be a female. You need to associate with that person. When you associate with that person, you will have a easier journey towards Nibbana, towards the end of all suffering. Easier, faster, more efficient. So how can one pick a Sappurisa, holy and wise person? And even that, we are not left in a blind, in a dark room. Our elders have left us. There are 7 qualities you have to look. If you are looking for a teacher, a guide, a wise and holy person, there are 5 good and higher level of qualities that one should look in the person. The first one is called Piya Guna. Guna is good and noble quality. Piya is love. Okay. Piya Gunas in general, a person or a leader or a teacher, whoever that is, loved by all. Loved by all means loved by all people who associate with him. They like him, they love him, they are fond of him. Okay? That is one quality you have to look in a person, or if you are looking for a guide, Piya Guna. Okay, fine. Whoever likes him, if a group of people follows him, There could be many. But let's put it on a practical term. Why? Why do people love? What kind of situation, condition brings people to love? Buddhism is about very precise and practical term. Okay? Lovingly character quality. Great, I'm waving. What is precise is, let's look at this way. Let's use a general, little children. What? If you give them twice, if you give them food, sweets, candies, chocolate, ice cream, they love you. Very simple. Just like that, people who are generous, who are generous, that is one of the character people love. Don't you like a person who always giving you gifts or looking after you? Give, charity, generosity. So the act of generosity in a person makes people love that person. That's one. Generosity. Giving material things that's needed and required. And another thing is service. Service is not giving material, personally going and doing, helping, hands and knees and foot. People who needs help, he's there. People who need something, he's ready to serve, ready to give, ready to serve, ready to give. Giving, serving, helping. That's a fact. And people who have that generosity and service fully endowed in them, anybody and everybody around him or her love that person. That's it. That is piya guna. Piya guna means somebody who everybody loves. Everybody that associated, his neighbor, society, surrounding love. That is the person who are generous and always ready for service for the needs of others. So you can look at it that way in a precise way. But in Pali, it's just piya guna. That's one. And second one is called guru guna. Guru guna. Guru guna is a quality. That person has a quality in which people respect. People respect and honor. It's deserving of respect and honor. That person has quality that has deserving of respect and honor. That's another quality need. And how can you make sure that person really deserves respect and honor? Because everybody is gathering around him, or because other people talk him about it, or because other people are promoting or marketing him? How can you make sure that person deserves respect and honor? First and foremost is, so to speak, look at the heart. The heart is very pure. The heart is very pure. And always that person is helping. Okay? Whenever he helps, there's a base. A basis. His help is always associated with metta and karuna. His help is always associated with loving kindness and compassion. In other words, there's no agenda base. It's out of loving kindness he helps. Out of compassion he helps. That's a pure heart. You can say one word, pure heart, but more precise is, that person always helps others based on loving kindness and generosity, loving kindness and karuna, compassion. And his acts are always selfless acts. Okay, some people has an agenda-based act. This person acts are always selfless. nothing for the self. And that person always making sure is protecting, safeguarding others people not to get into trouble and danger. Okay? The best that he could. He always is ready to protect and guard and safeguard so that other people will not fall into danger and trouble. And then also, that person who deserves respect, that person, if you look at it, he has a very wise outlook to life. Wise outlook. The way he looks at life is quite wise. If you have loving kindness, compassion, selfless, ready to do at any time, that must have a certain point of view to life. That view to life is called wise outlook to life. And for himself, this is what he's doing to the surrounding. For himself too, he always acts properly and nobly. Proper and noble. His action, the way he behaves is always proper and always noble. Not only that, now he is associating the people who are depending on him, who are taking his cue and who are taking his guide. For that, he has to share what he has. He has to share his knowledge, techniques, wisdom, whatever he has. And when he shares, he holds no hold bars. He doesn't keep an ace up his sleeve so that he can still be the master. He gives everything he has. He pours out everything he has. The person will know everything he has. Who doesn't keep an ace card up his sleeve more than this word? And when he is helping others, he doesn't have any expectation for material gain, okay, or personal gain. Not out of expectation. He helps without any expectation, without any material gain, and without any personal gain. And he is always working very hard for the people who depends on him, showing what is the wrong path and what is the right path, what to avoid and what to do. That's always the path. This is a constant. How to avoid the wrong path, how to follow the right path in the journey, on the journey towards the cessation of all physical and mental suffering. Those are the qualities that a person who deserves respect and honor. Those are the qualities. But in one line, you can put it, this is the explanation in nitty-gritty details. A person who is always working, okay, always working for this life and for future lives. Okay. A person who is always working for this life and for future life. So from the Buddhist point of view, if you are trying to uplift yourself, upgrade yourself to grow, you are doing a self-improvement as well as helping everything, all the environment around you. That is for this life. And by doing so, you are creating and generating enormous amount of good karma. So you are also working for the future life. One line. This Garu Guna is a person always working and improving for this life and in future life. Okay. That kind of quality, that kind of person is called who deserve honor and respect. So that is the second quality. The third quality called bhavaniya guna. Bhavaniya guna. That is a person who deserve gratitude. Okay, translated that way. A person who deserve gratitude. So, in short, a person with that quality 1 and 2, piya guna, loved by all, garu guna, who is respected and honored by all. If you have these two qualities, okay, in general, that person deserves the gratitudes of people that associated with him. Because a person who has this quality, number 1 and number 2, piya guna and garu guna, okay? If you associate with him, based on these actions, what I have described, you will find that he can deliver proper benefits, okay, proper benefits for everybody who's around him. Proper benefits to general, what is specific? Your speech, your deed, speech and thought, body, speech and mind become proper. The people who associated with him, just by rubbing and interacting with him, their deed become proper, their speech become proper, their thoughts become proper. And also the suffering, the amount of suffering that they have become less and less with time if you associate with those persons. And also your confusion become less and less. Body, speech and mind become gather, your suffering become less, your confusions about life and the way to live life become less and less. Those are the benefits. Okay? And if these are the one that is being benefited by those person, definitely that person deserves the gratitude of the people who associated with him. That is a bhavaniya guna, the one who deserves gratitude. So in here, we are associated nowadays, so many teachers around the world. One thing we should keep in mind, nowadays the highest level of the enlightenment is arhata, okay? The fourth and final noble person. Only when you become arhata, the fourth and the final noble person, that person is totally faultless and blameless. You can't find fault, you can't blame for him anything. It's perfection. A human imperfection is called, total perfection is called arhata. Only that person. But even the lower three areas, okay, the first stream winner, once returner, non-returner, Satipatthana, Sakadagana, Anagami, even those, they are not totally faultless and blameless. Keep that in mind. Even the first, second, and third noble persons, you cannot say they are 100% fault-free and blame-free. So, when you are associating with a teacher, let's call it a teacher, okay, or sapurisa, wise and noble person, you will find some faults in here, faults in there. There are something that agrees with you and something that doesn't agree with you. Some of the people who are practicing, they expect perfection in the teacher. If you expect perfection in the teacher, you will be disappointed. Because only Arahata is 100% faultless and blameless. So there will be faults in the teacher, but you have to see what kind of benefits, what kind of good things you are benefiting from that person, whether it is 75% or 80% or 90%. And if there is about 10% that you don't agree, you dislike, you can't accept, you will come to that situation, scenario quite more often than you expect nowadays. Under the circumstances, you have to have a proper attitude, knowing what is being said about the Ariya and the faultless and blameless. Okay, this person is doing me a great deal of benefits and good. I'm learning, still progressing under this association. And under the circumstances, focus on the positive things, focus on the good things. Think and reflect upon good things, and do not focus upon the negative things of that person. And that is called yoniso manasikara. Okay? You put your mind only in the positivity. I think somehow I use that line quite often. And everybody that associates with in your daily life, appreciate the strength and forgive the weakness. That's a line. The same thing, that's just what in the teacher is. Appreciate the strength of that person that you are associating with and forgive. Oh, he hasn't reached the Arahata yet. And if you do that, you will never be disappointed, and you are the one who will have peace and harmony on your journey. That one should be kept in mind quite clearly. Otherwise, if you have a great expectation on your guide and the wise and the holy person, you'll be disappointed and there will be many stops and road bumps. So in here, these kind of people, if you follow them, what happens? You have a body, speech, and mind become gentler and more polite. Your actions, your behavior, your thought pattern, they become more polite and gentle. Especially gentle and polite mean speech and deed. Behavior pattern becomes. And these kind of people who can benefit you in that way, they deserve your respect. They deserve to be honored, and they deserve your gratitude. We are talking about gratitude. Bhavaniya guna. Gratitude in here is you don't have to go write a check for $1 million or buy a Mercedes car or so on. And here from the Buddhist point of view, gratitude is expressed as loving kindness, metta. They deserve your loving kindness, your metta. Metta not on the lip service. Okay, may he be well, happy and peaceful. You recite about 1,000 times a day for him. But yes, you can say, you can think, you can meditate, concentrate specifically for that person. But it has to be true and correct. Totally focused, not just reciting, not just chanting, Sabe, Sada, Weya, Hontu, and so on, loudly, repeatedly for 1 hour. If your heart is not in there, if your mind is not on the precise words and the feelings and the meanings, you are not developing loving kindness. You have to be truly and correctly developing loving kindness for that person because he deserves your gratitude. That is the person who deserves your loving kindness, is the Bhavaniya Guna, who deserve the gratitude. Because if you truly develop loving kindness for that person, and if your heart is warm with loving kindness, automatically that thoughts spring into words and actions. It doesn't stop in thoughts. If you truly develop loving kindness, it expresses in terms of speech and deed. It goes in there. So automatically, what happened? Okay, our teachers, they are monks, they are bhikkhus. They don't need a Mercedes. What it is, there are only 4 requisites. Once in a while, if there's a ropes are torn or old, offer a rope. Okay, cook a little food. You don't have to store a food for a year. Just one day food, one lunch, one breakfast. Cook from your heart and offer it to eat. Bring some fruits, something to eat, something to wear. And if you think that is a medicine, if they are ill, offer medicine. And then if they need help, okay, in the olden days, for the teachers, okay, they will take their robes and wash it. Okay, now we throw in the laundry, they will iron it. These are the little things. You are doing it not because you have to do, because you want to do, because He has given you a great benefit in terms of the growth as a human being. Loving kindness just doesn't stop in your loving kindness meditation. If that's true in your meditation, it springs into speech and into deed. These little things, if the socks, they need it, you just mend the sock, you offer a sock. If the tubes are wear down, you offer a tube. That's about it. And that is, you are doing it because your heart felt it. And this is the way you show the gratitude or appreciation to that monk or the teacher or the wise person. That's the third quality. And the fourth quality is called Buddha Guna. Buddha. Basically, that person is very dutiful. He performs his duty. He doesn't lack his duty. Very dutiful quality. Whatever he is supposed to do, whatever his duties are, he never run away from it. That is called Buddha Guna. Go in here. What is the duty of these people, of this faith? Is always directing you. Always directing you the right path and stopping you to go the wrong way. That's the first thing. And not only that, they are directing you. Whenever you are doing right and you are following the path, they are so happy. They are so happy to see you going the right direction. In other words, happy is just a way. In other words, that's called sympathetic joy. They are always happy in your growth, in your progress, in your success. They direct and they are always happy when you grow and when you succeed. And here is one big one. They always point out your shortcomings with compassion. That's one of the duty. They point out your shortcomings in a duty. And that is a very difficult part, especially from the student's part. When the teachers tell you something, they think they are picking on you. They are always finding fault in you. Okay, when you are good, you don't have to need to improve, you don't have to talk. The best you can say is, okay, keep on doing, carry on. That's about it. But when you are not doing right, when you have shortcomings, you have to point out. If you don't point out, it is sad. That person, that teacher is not doing his or her duty. You have to point out all of them. You must be very critical at the persons and their way they live, the way they speak, the way they do, the way they think. Must be critical, but critical with compassion. Compassionately critical. And in the West culture is a little different. When you criticize like that, they don't like it, they think they are picking on you, and automatically negativity arises. So it is need much skills in teachers who are doing that, based on the sensitivity of the students. So instead of one-to-one, face-to-face talking them, mostly the Buddhist monks, they always talk in the Dhamma talk. In the Dhamma talk, they fill in this way, appropriately fill in based on the Dhamma talk. By doing so, they are fulfilling their duties. Even in the Dhamma talks, okay, some students still think, oh, he's talking about me. She's talking about me. Still, that kind of a thing. That one has to bear in mind. They are doing it not because they hate you, they are simply performing their duty. It is a duty giving. You always have to be pointing out the shortcomings. There's a story. So Satipatthana, this we heard that name quite often. Next to Buddha, the most intelligent and wisest person, the right-hand person. And then one day, it was the monks, the Buddhists there, everybody gathered going to listen to the Buddha's speech, and in a hurry, he was doing something in a hurry, he put his robe up and rushed towards there. And there was also, in that compound, it's monks of all ages, there was a little monk, about 7 years old. He saw the Sariputta running, and his ropes is not properly wear, one dragging, one slipping, and then he just said, just go there and drag him. Oh, Bhante, you are not wearing a dress properly here. You should be wearing properly. Pointed out. Oh, is that right? Sorry. And that was why he excused himself, go behind something so that people would not see redressing him. So he redressed properly. He came out. And what? Is it proper now? Little Bhante said, oh yes, good. So what it is in here, okay, when you are criticizing these kind of things, it is not only from top down, bottoms up as well. Okay, tops must be able to point out down the line, and that if the down also see the tops doing wrong, is open to point out. But with the mind of improving, to help each other, that is the way that one is critical. Not only top down, bottom up as well. So keep that in mind. It's helping each other out. So number 5 is very close to that. What you call Vacha Nikamana Guna. Vacha Nikamana Guna. What it means is taking criticism gracefully as well. First of all, you must be critical about it to the students. And I have already explained the Saripatthana in the first verse. That is what it is. The 7-year-old monk criticized the second most powerful in the Buddhist ministry, and he take it with grace. What Chat Nikamana Guna means, ability to take criticism gracefully, okay? Because he will be criticized. As long as you are in this human society, criticism will come from all. Even the Buddha has been criticized by many. And when the criticism comes, must be able to take with grace. That is another quality the teacher should have. Sariputta is the example in there. And in here, this we already mentioned in the first phrase, top down and bottoms up. Either way it grows. With that, we'll give an example of the bhikkhu society, bhikkhu, the monks. When the monks live, they have the one word called pavarana. Pavarana is, okay, they have to get together, okay, a certain set day, a full moon day or so. All the sanghas together, maybe 5, maybe 10, or maybe the whole monastery, I don't know, maybe 2, but at least 2, maybe 5. They all get together, they sit around together and they say, the way it's said is, the best that I could put is, okay, Bhante, okay, like one person is doing, one bhikkhu is telling to the Bhante, if you have seen, or if you have heard, or if you have any suspicion that I have done something wrong, please correct me, please criticize me so that I can improve myself out of compassion. One has to ask the other monks. And when the other monks, if they have seen or heard anything that one is doing not correctly according to the Vinaya, according to the rules of the monk, they have to point out. And when they point out, the other person admit and then improved. That is the regular gathering pavarana. That is the criticism. One must be able to criticize, and one must take the criticism with grace and improve upon oneself. That is the one of the regular meeting the monks must have, pavarana. That is ability to take criticism with grace. That's another quality. And number 6. Number 6 is, I forgot the word. Gambiren Chaka Tankata Guna. Gambiran Chaka Tankana Guna. Okay, what this means is, it is the person has the title or holder of a deep and profound Dhamma holder, the title of deep and profound Dhamma holder. What does it mean is, the monks must be able to give a Dhamma talk, okay, to improve the body, speech, and mind, to be gentle, to be polite, and to become cultured. And this teaching, this improvement must produce wholesome environment. The master must be able to deliver, the teacher must be able to deliver Dhamma talks or lectures, always to improve body, speech, and mind, and become gentle, polite, and cultured. And when you are doing that, it has to do with the two-pronged approach, not just simply listening and learning from a book and then turn around and teach what is said in the book. It has to come from both the theory and practice. The person has to have a theory and practice. And whatever you have learned, you have to practice, and you must understand that theory from the practice, from the direct experience. And with that to combine knowledge, one must be able to give a lecture or Dhamma talk to those people who are seeking refuge or depending on you. That's one thing. And in here too, one must be able to not only talk, explain, discuss, and dispel the confusion that one may have in this topic. Must be able to do that. And in terms of a practice, what it is based on the Satipatthana, Vipassana, mindfulness, and sight meditation. This is the core of our practice for our group. And in here, the person who is doing must be at least able to have a higher level of Vipassana insight. You don't have to be an Arya, but you must have the higher level of Vipassana insight. And you must be able to understand and explain Paticca dependent origination. That's one of the core things that one needs to understand very clearly and deeply. And finally, the Four Noble Truth. Okay? One must have a practice mindfulness insight, reach higher level of insight, must have the ability to explain and give lectures about dependent origination and the Four Noble Truth with clarity and dispel the confusion in the people who are in the group. That is number 6 quality. Number 7 quality is, again, Nocha Tani Niyosako Guna in Pali. Nocha Tani Niyosako. What it means in a literal sense is called one who doesn't push, somebody who follow you to get into dark and vicious situation or get some this effect. In other words, in a simple word, that teacher or that guide does not use the students or who follow them for his personal interest so that they would get into compromising position. Who does not use their students? That is another quality. And such quality, such kind of people who has 7 qualities, they are called the wise and holy person, Sappurisa. They are called Kalyana Mitta, good friend, because it's not only top down, bottoms up as well. That's why it's called Kalyana Mitta, good friend, good companion, a teacher or sages, the wise and holy person. And if you associate these kind of people, your yoniso-manasikara, your wise attention will uplift, become better and better and better. The key there is wise yoniso-manasikara in one line. Your wise intention or wise attention will improve and improve and improve. And your suffering become less and less and less. And your confusion become less and less and less if you associate with them. But this is only the beginning part of it. The real part is in your hand. You must practice, you must practice, you must practice. You must work very hard. Without that, you won't achieve it. But regardless, if you are looking for a guide, a teacher, a good friend, a good companion who can help you to uplift your quality of life, one need to pick with these 7 qualities. And if you find that person stick with that person, stick with him or her, and practice as long as you are improving under his or her guidance. And if you have outgrown, they will let you go. You don't have to stay there. They might even direct you to another direction. So may all of you be able to practice mindfulness insight meditation with your good friend, good companion, Kalyana Mitta, and may you be able to attain the release from all physical and mental suffering as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Buddham pujemi. Dhammam pujemi. Sangham pujemi.